What's way more dangerous than most people think? Lost memories. Forgetfulness in general. Really? You might think that, even with some lapses or a somewhat bad memory, you're fine. After all, it's just small stuff. Anyone can remind you of it. That's how you get careless, and the chance of it being an issue becomes just another lost thought, adrift without ever crossing your mind again. You see, it might appear to be small stuff only, but here's a little spoiler. Forgetfulness is anything but picky. Since losing apparently worthless stuff isn't something you keep in mind, the very issue will stay beneath suspicion. Now all that needs to happen is for you to forget about someone or something you cannot afford to, and by the time you become aware that you did, well, shit has well and truly hit the fan and dried up on the walls. Good luck ever fixing that, and good luck getting to trust your own memory again. Not going to the doctor when something is wrong. You aren't macho for not going. It doesn't make you more of a man. It makes you an idiot. If you live in America and don't have insurance, I'm not talking about you. We all know these people though. I'm not going to no damn doctor. I'm fine. I knew guy who hadn't been to the doctor in 30 years. Always bragged about it. Never sick. Blah blah blah. One day he goes to the doctor because he loses a shit ton of weight for no reason in the span of a month. Turns out he has so much cancer in his fucking body that he's a walking miracle. Stomach, colon, lung, and it was in his lymph node. Doctors gave him a prognosis of like 4 months with aggressive treatment. He forgoes the treatment and died in a month. Go to the fucking doctor. Your best chance against cancer is early detection. Hell, that's with everything. If you wait too long, it might be too late to do anything. Edit to at, check your sources, people. I remember this was a major pet peeve of mine back in college, when my peers quoted Wikipedia, which, in turn, was quoting blogs. Wiki is now much more reliable, but it's still best to look at the source at the end of the wiki page you're reading. You also have an option in Google search that enables you to find academic publications. Scholastic articles and the likes are best to look up scientific information. Use it. This, which I guess qualifies as ignorance. Yesterday I commented on a world news thread where the top comment gave completely wrong information about the article that was posted. It was an assumption based on the title of the article. The poster quickly retracted what they wrote in another comment, but people kept upvoting the comment that was giving wrong information. I was really baffled and realized very few people were actually reading the article, which in and of itself had been ripped off, was a transcription of a short BBC video. Both the original video and transcript/article were misleadingly titled. One decried starving elephants and the other celebrated freed elephants. Though the original video mentioned both topics, it was about neither. People just upvoted what they probably thought summarized the article best. So if people in world news are reading the title of the article, which was very misleading, and top comment of a thread thinking that's a good indicator of what the article said, 8.2k redditors are now misinformed. This was not a top/front page article, but it really shows how quickly misinformation can spread. Moose, bigger threat to people up here than bears. Edit, clarification by up here I mean Canada. Another clarification, we have a lot of moose, and not a lot of grizzly bears. The more common bears, black bears, while still shouldn't be provoked, are a lot smaller and more timid than grizzlies. Not to mention everyone knows to be afraid of bears. They're large carnivores. Most people don't know to be afraid of moose. Hitting a moose with your car is pretty well a guaranteed fatality, but it's also highly underestimated how dangerous these things can be on their own. They can be around the same height as a transport truck and have a nasty temper if you decide to bug one. The ocean, both for swimming/surfing/etc and for boating. It is 100% not just a big swimming pool or lake. Human beings are in a completely alien environment as soon as they step off the sand or dock, and our perceptions about how things ought to play out no longer matter. The ocean is completely indifferent to human reasoning, and even to human mortality. I'm teaching a good friend to sail right now, and he's naively ambitious as far as sailing long distances in a very small boat. I wasn't joking at all when I chided him by saying, "You haven't been scared enough times yet." The reason I'm so conservative in and around the ocean is because I've developed a healthy, totally reasonable fear of it over the course of my life. Anybody who isn't a little afraid of the ocean hasn't spent enough time around it. Source: Tug Captain, lifelong surfer, and lifelong recreational sailor. Please, if you're going out on a boat, make sure you at least have a first aid kit, a fire extinguisher, a working knowledge of how to call for help on a VHF radio, an anchor to stop you from drifting into rocks if the engine fails, and PFDs for everyone. Situations you've never even imagined can arise so quickly on even a short outing. Newts. Many newts, such as the rough-skinned newt, produce a toxin that is 10 times more potent than cyanide. They are only dangerous if you handle them and then don't wash your hands afterwards, or if you eat the newt. There have been multiple reports over the years of someone eating a newt as part of a hazing ritual for a college fraternity and then dying. The toxin that some newts produce can kill you inside of 15 minutes because the toxins block the sodium receptors in your nerves, essentially stopping your brain from communicating with your heart. Scary stuff. TLDR, if you handle a newt, wash your hands. And never put a newt in your mouth or you will die. Edit. Did not think this would blow up this much. Thank you to the redditors that provided so much information about tetrodotoxin. To see it in action, check out this video from Nat Geo. Deep cuts on your fingertips. They are called felons and can infect your bloodstream. Clean them out, and if you see a red line traveling up your arm, get yourself to the ER immediately. My neighbor almost died from this when she cut her finger on her violin string. Edit. Removed my advice about changing tires. My main point was, don't go under your car if the tire's off without a jack stand, but that should be obvious. Hypothermia. If your clothes get soaked and you can't dry out and warm up, temps in the 50s F13C can kill you. This is how people going on day hikes get killed. Something happens and they can't get back to their car/lodge. The weather changes and they can't find shelter and they get wet. They die of exposure. My scoutmaster taught us boys the hard way by teaching us the importance of planning. He made us traverse a stream, and while our packs didn't get wet because we were carrying them above our heads, we did get soaked up to about our chest in cool water. The temperature was around 55 F that day, which is not that cold and kinda nice. After we got to the other side, you would not believe how quickly we got cold, especially if there is no cover from the wind, and within a few minutes, our hands became useless, and we couldn't start a fire. The shivering got so bad, it was incapacitating. The cold set in fast. We learned that day that we needed to make sure our clothes remained dry, even if that means stripping down, but naked to cross the stream, and that we needed to have fire already made, and a smoldering ember ready to go along with tinder, so that we could get a fire going quickly, that is if we didn't have matches, or a fire steel. So he taught us that we should cross the stream, put our dry clothes back on, start a fire to warm up and dry out, and immediately start working on shelter. Hard lessons don't leave you, even after 30 years. Edit. For clarity. Almost everything that today we get to take for granted is routine. Infections, easily treated right, not with antibiotic-resistant bacteria and/or new viruses. Anesthesiology and painkillers, incredible, but with fatal consequences if mishandled. Driving, look up stats, or talk to the paramedics and other first responders with stories. Trades jobs, if you aren't trained in that particular trade, up on all the required safety protocols, or in a situation where the company isn't as stringent as they could be, lots of people get hurt or worse. It is one of several reasons we have a day of remembrance for workers killed on the job. Childbirth, modern medicine helps a lot, but there is a reason some cultures considered it like going into battle. Household repairs and cleaning supplies. I seem to remember that ladders, stairs etc. resulted in a lot of accidents. Many children get poisoned from unsecured cleaners. Adult safety and childproofing a home. As others have said, things under tension or heavy things that can drop from a height. One of the reasons logging is so dangerous. Food safety. Our food usually has been kept safe throughout its journey to us, but we find out from food recalls how quickly hundreds or thousands can get sick when regulations aren't followed. Not that we think it is in any way safe, but likely many of us on Reddit haven't had direct experience with just how horrible it can be. That is why videos and documentaries are still so captivating on the subject, because the danger was more extreme than we often grasped at first. Currently relevant. Disruptions to farms. If farms don't get planted / watered / weeded / harvested on time, eventually, someone may not get to eat. Basically, we have tried over time to reduce the everyday things that are dangerous to us with more or less success, and sometimes with unintended side effects. Like the big one, carbon emissions equals more dangerous than most people think. Edit. I remembered confined spaces with little air exchange and low oxygen. They can suffocate a whole series of people who go into them, one after another, victim and rescuer, if they don't have the correct PPE. Oh, and rotating machinery can seriously mess you up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.